A hero's journey. This is a term familiar to anyone who has ever taken a class in film studies. It is a concept that forms the backbone of any story told on film. Many filmmakers have added to the hero's journey by playing with visual style or subverting the expectations viewers may have of that journey. Many films featured in the 2019 Southeast Asian Short Film Competition are prime examples of those additions. In this video, I'll be talking about the particular short films that have followed the conventional hero's journey, but they have nevertheless forged their own styles of storytelling. The films that we'll be looking at today are Cobalt Blue, Lenny, Sweet Salty, Sick, Adam, and California Dreaming. These films, like most, have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They follow a main protagonist that the audience is able to relate with, and we see them experience some form of conflict throughout the short film. The climax of this conflict usually comes towards the end of the middle, and the ending of some of these films are inconclusive or left open-ended, which is totally fine, as the writer wants the audience to fill in the gaps as they see fit. After all, the reading of a film, like that of many other art forms, is subjective. An example of a filmmaker who throughout his career has made films that follow a conventional hero's journey is Italian filmmaker Erwin Lim. His films generally follow the life of an everyday person in particular landscapes and locations with a tinge of social commentary. He places a humanistic lens on the lives of everyday people. Most of his films don't have conclusive endings, and instead he leaves it up to the audience. He always uses long, beautiful slow takes, which are always a feast for the eyes. Likewise, the short films that I have mentioned follows the same tropes as Erwin Lim's films, and they are all impressive on a technical level too. In terms of the audio design and cinematography, which showcases the skills of the filmmakers behind the camera. Personally, the most notable short film to me is Lenny. It is a coming-of-age film about a young girl who experiences the death of a loved one for the first time, and her subsequent strenuous relationship with her parents that follows. I feel that it is an extremely well-made film with excellent pacing and acting. The main lead, Erwin Lim, gives a performance that isn't common among child actors of her age. You can feel her emotions flowing through the screen as events unfold, and the pacing bolsters the film to bring out the emotional highs and lows even more. What is most impressive to me is that it is a student final year project. The impressive visuals and technical details and how well told the story is convince me that it has to be done by industry professionals. Malaysian director and writer Chua Jie manages to tell her semi-biographical story with a different setting, highlighting just how universal her story can be. She also experiences her own hero's journey by having the courage to put her personal story up onto the big screen despite being a novice filmmaker. She is certainly a Southeast Asian talent to look out for in the future. Stories touch, inspire, scare, shock, and there are some stories that people will remember long after they leave the theatre. And the hero's journey has been a model that has told stories like that for many previous generations of filmmakers. And it will continue to tell stories like that for many more generations of filmmakers to come.